You've visualized, you've affirmed, you've raised your vibration, you've done everything the manifestation gurus told you to do. And still, nothing. Or worse, you get close to your desire, and then it slips away again. Here's what no one's telling you. Manifestation isn't failing because you're doing it wrong. It's failing because there are hidden forces working against you that no amount of positive thinking can override. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's blocking your manifestation and the specific tools you need to clear those blocks for good. Think about this. Someone decides they want to manifest financial abundance. They spend 20 minutes every morning visualizing. They script their ideal life. They even create a vision board. For a week, they feel amazing, totally aligned. Then they check their bank account, see the same numbers, panic sets in, and suddenly they're spiraling into "this doesn't work for me" energy. Sound familiar? The manifestation advice you've been given isn't necessarily wrong. It's just incomplete. It treats you like a blank slate, like you're a brand new operating system with no programming. But you're not. You're running on decades of subconscious coding, unresolved emotions, and protective mechanisms that are actively working against your conscious desires. And until you address these hidden layers, you'll keep hitting the same invisible ceiling. There are 6 hidden reasons that sabotage manifestation, and I guarantee at least one of them is operating in your life right now. Most manifestation teachers focus on the external techniques, the vision boards, the affirmations, the scripting, but they skip over the internal architecture that determines whether those techniques actually work. These 6 blockers are operating under the surface, and once you identify which one is active for you, everything changes. We're going to go through each one, and I want you to notice which one hits differently. That's your blocker. Let's dive in. Reason number 1. Internal resistance. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Parts of you don't want what you say you want. I know that sounds wild, but stay with me. Let's say someone wants to manifest a thriving business. Consciously, they're all in. But subconsciously, there's a part of them that associates success with being judged, losing friends, or becoming like someone they resent. So what happens? Self-sabotage, procrastination, mysterious blocks that seem to come out of nowhere. This is what's called internal resistance, and it shows up in 3 major ways. First, protector parts. These are the parts of your psyche that developed to keep you safe. Maybe being visible wasn't safe growing up, so now there's a part of you that shuts you down every time you're about to be seen. It's not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you based on outdated information. Second, limiting core beliefs. These are the deep, often unconscious beliefs running your show. Things like, "I'm not worthy," "people like me don't get that," or "if I have too much, something bad will happen." These beliefs were formed early, and they operate like background software, filtering out evidence that contradicts them. Third, unresolved wounds and shadow material. Old pain, shame, and rejected parts of yourself create energetic static. You can't vibrate at the frequency of abundance while you're unconsciously holding frequencies of unworthiness, fear, or grief. The solution? You need to work directly with these parts. For the protector parts, there's a process called internal family systems, or parts work, where you dialogue with these parts and update their roles. For limiting beliefs, we use processes like Byron Katie's The Work to dismantle them at the root. And for shadow material and trauma, shadow work is essential. I'll be breaking down each of these processes in dedicated videos on this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. But the key point here, you can't manifest your way around internal resistance. You have to go through it. Reason number 2, the manifestation lag, or the mirror delay. All right, here's where it gets tricky and where most people give up right before their breakthrough. Manifestation isn't instant. Your external reality is always reflecting back your internal state, but there's a delay, like a mirror that shows you what you were thinking and feeling weeks or even months ago, not what you're thinking right now. So here's what happens. Someone starts manifesting. They do the inner work, they shift their energy, they genuinely start believing. They feel great for a few days, maybe even a couple weeks. But then old circumstances that were set in motion by their old energy, start showing up. Bills, rejections, breakdowns, and they panic. See, it's not working. I'm doing something wrong. But what's actually happening is this. You're experiencing the echo of your old state while your new state is still incubating. The universe is literally catching up to your new frequency, but you're interpreting the lag as failure. This is why consistency is everything. If you go up and down, one day you believe, the next day you're in doubt, you're sending mixed signals. The dominant frequency wins. If you're only aligned 30% of the time and in fear or doubt 70% of the time, guess which reality you're manifesting? Most people quit right at the tipping point, right when the accumulated energy is about to materialize. They're standing 1 foot away from the finish line, but because they can't see it yet, they turn around and walk back. How do we solve this? Understand that the lag is real. Your current circumstances are old news. They're the result of yesterday's vibration. Stay consistent with your new state and trust that the mirror will eventually reflect it back. And when those old patterns boomerang back, don't take them as evidence that manifestation isn't working. See them for what they are, the last remnants of an old frequency leaving your field. Reason number 3, being passive and misunderstanding co-creation. This one's huge, and it's where a lot of people get stuck in spiritual bypassing. Manifestation isn't about sitting on your couch visualizing $1 million and waiting for it to fall from the sky. It's co-creation. You set the intention, you align your energy, and then the universe sends you opportunities, synchronicities, and intuitive nudges. Your job is to recognize them and act. Think of it like surfing. You can't force the wave, but you also can't just sit on your board and expect the wave to carry you to shore. You have to paddle. You have to position yourself. You have to read the ocean. And when the wave comes, you have to get up and ride it. So many people are waiting passively. They see a sign, an opportunity, a person who could connect them to their desire, and they dismiss it. That's not quite it. I don't feel ready. What if it doesn't work out? And they let the wave pass. Or on the flip side, they try to force it. They micromanage the how and the when. They try to control every detail. And in doing so, they block the universe from delivering in ways they couldn't have imagined. The solution? Learn to recognize inspired action. Inspired action feels light, expansive, exciting, even if it's outside your comfort zone. Forced action feels heavy, tight, fear-based. When you get a nudge, an idea, a random message from someone, pay attention. That's the universe co-creating with you. Above all, let go of the how. Your job is to hold the vision and take the next aligned step. The universe's job is to orchestrate the path. Stop trying to do both. Reason number 4, clarity and alignment issues. You can't manifest what you can't define, and you can't manifest what you don't actually want. A lot of people think they know what they want, but when you dig deeper, it's vague. I want more money. Okay, how much? For what? What does that money allow you to do or feel? I want a relationship. With who? What kind of relationship? What does it feel like to be in that relationship? The universe responds to specificity and emotional clarity. If you're vague, you get vague results. Or worse, you manifest something that technically matches your words, but doesn't match your actual desire. And here's the deeper issue. A lot of people are chasing goals that aren't actually theirs. They're chasing what they think they should want, what their parents want, what society says is success, what looks good on Instagram. But deep down, their soul isn't aligned with it. And so the manifestation either doesn't happen, or it happens and they feel empty. There's also the issue of manifesting from lack versus wholeness. If you're trying to manifest something to fix yourself, to prove you're worthy, to fill a void, that's lack energy, and lack attracts more lack. But if you're manifesting from a place of already feeling whole, already feeling abundant, just wanting to expand and experience more, that's wholeness energy, and that's magnetic. How do we change that? Get clear. Journal it out. What do you actually want? Why do you want it? How will it feel? and check in. Is this genuinely my desire, or is this conditioning? When you align with what your soul actually wants and you define it clearly, manifestation becomes effortless. Reason number 5, attachment and desperation. Energy management is everything in manifestation, and this is where people unknowingly sabotage themselves. Here's what happens. Someone sets an intention. They're excited, they're aligned, but then they start obsessing. They check their email 20 times a day. They refresh their bank account. They analyze every little thing, looking for proof that it's working. Is this a sign? Is that a sign? Why hasn't it happened yet? That energy, that desperate checking, is like digging up seeds every day to see if they've sprouted. You're actually delaying the process. This comes down to attachment to outcome. When you're attached, you're saying, I need this to be happy. I need this to feel worthy. I'm not okay unless this happens. And that vibration, that neediness, repels the very thing you want. Desperation is the opposite of magnetism. The paradox of manifestation is this. You have to care enough to set the intention, but then detach enough to let it unfold. You have to want it without needing it. And here's the other piece. Most people are waiting to feel successful when it happens. They're waiting to feel abundant when the money shows up. They're waiting to feel loved when the relationship arrives. But that's backward. The feeling is what creates the reality, not the other way around. You have to embody the state now. The solution? Let go and trust. Set the intention, take aligned action, and then let it go. Cultivate the feeling of already having it. Not from a place of pretending or denying your current reality, but from genuinely connecting to the essence of what you're calling in. And trust. Trust that it's already done in the quantum field, and your job is just to stay in the frequency that allows it to materialize. Reason number 6, your environment. You are not manifesting in a vacuum. You're part of an energetic ecosystem. And that ecosystem is either supporting your manifestation or undermining it. Let's say you're working on manifesting confidence and success, but you're surrounded by people who constantly doubt you, criticize you, or reinforce your old story. Every conversation is pulling you back into the frequency you're trying to leave. That's a toxic environment, and it makes manifestation exponentially harder. Or maybe you're consuming content all day that reinforces lack, fear, scarcity. You're scrolling through news that triggers anxiety. You're watching videos about how hard everything is. And then you wonder why you can't hold a high vibration. Your environment is programming you. There's also the issue of energetic boundaries. If you're absorbing everyone else's doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs, if you're taking on other people's energy as if it's yours, you're diluting your own frequency. You become a sponge instead of a lighthouse. And here's a big one. Consumption over creation. So many people are addicted to consuming manifestation content. They watch video after video, read book after book, but they never actually practice. They never integrate. They're in perpetual learning mode, which is just another form of resistance. It's a way to feel like you're doing something without actually doing the inner work. To avoid that, you need audit your environment. Who are you spending time with? What are you consuming? What energy are you letting into your field? And start setting boundaries. It's okay to distance yourself from people or content that lowers your frequency. It's okay to protect your energy. Take what you learn and actually apply it. Practice the tools. Do the inner work. Integration is where transformation happens. I'll be covering energetic boundaries and how to protect your field in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. So, let's bring this all together. If your manifestation isn't working, it's not because you're broken. It's not because the universe is ignoring you. It's not even because you're doing it wrong. It's because there are hidden layers operating beneath your conscious awareness that are blocking the flow. Here's what this all comes down to. Manifestation is an inside-out process, not an outside-in one. You can't hack your way around your internal world. You can't vision board over unresolved trauma. You can't affirm away core beliefs that you haven't examined. You can't bypass the lag, the resistance, or the shadow. But here's the good news. Once you address these blockers, once you do the actual inner work, manifestation stops being this elusive, frustrating thing. It becomes natural. It becomes inevitable. Because you're no longer fighting yourself. You're no longer sending mixed signals. You're in alignment, and alignment is magnetic. So the real question isn't, why isn't manifestation working? The real question is, what part of me is blocking it, and how do I heal that part? That's the work. And it's not always comfortable, but it's the work that actually changes everything. All right, I want to hear from you. Which one of these 6 blockers hit home for you? Was it the internal resistance? The manifestation lag? Drop a comment below and let me know. It helps me know what to cover next. And if this video gave you a new perspective on why your manifestation hasn't been working, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're going deep into all of these tools I mentioned: internal family systems, Byron Katie's The Work, shadow work, energetic boundaries, all of it. This is just the beginning. Above all, remember to be kind to yourself. You're not broken. You're not doing it wrong. You're just in process. You just have layers to unpack. And once you do, you become unstoppable.